Teenagers of Reddit. What was the worst ever rejection you have experienced or witnessed? I don't think you should meet my parents. They don't even know we're dating yet. We're dating? I once did a musical where the final two people, one was a freshman dude, and the other was a senior girl, were bowing at the end. After they both bowed, the guy asked for everyone to stop clapping for a moment. To which he turned to the senior and said, "I felt a connection with you this whole time. Will you be the belle to my beast?" And I kid you not, the whole audience was silent except for the senior's boyfriend laughing in the front row. She calmly walked off stage and the director broke the news to him that she was already seeing someone. That was the last show he did with us, I think. And myself and others still joke with the senior sending her texts like, "Will you be the belle to my beast?" Not currently a teenager, but when I was one I was in a game of spin the bottle with my crush and a bunch of other people at a birthday party. We played several rounds, and when my spin landed on my crush she just got up and said, "Let's play something else." I had a girl in my middle school class that I liked. I tried talking to her, but being in middle school it's hard af. We're all in line trying to get in the classroom, and I was standing behind her. I was just staring at the back of her head a foot away from her. IWAA trying to get in class. She was just turning her head, and I guess caught me staring at her head BTW. She made a disgusted face and said, "OMG, you're such a creep," in front of everyone in the hall. Some other girls and guys started getting in on that joke. For almost half a year people would purposely run or look away from my direction laughing, so I couldn't talk to them in the halls. It was miserable. My friend asked a girl out once at lunch. She was with her friend. "With you?" Who then laughed. Worst part is our table got dismissed last, so he just sat there all red-faced. I didn't know what to say, so just talked about movies. During high school homecoming season, my friend decided to ask this girl to the dance, despite not really knowing each other that well. Few days prior to the event, he dressed up in a suit, brought rose flowers, and waited outside a class the girl was in. When she came out, she saw my friend with bunch of random people forming a curious crowd, all laughing and excited to see what would happen. She covered her face and ran away, ignoring my friend's desperate act of trying to stop her. It got super awkward after that, and my friend looked devastated. On the homecoming though, he came by himself and took over the stage with mad dance moves. He was very unique and fun guy. I had pooped my pants when I was about 6. I was always given shit for this incident. It eventually died out, but it still happens sometimes. So anyway, I really liked a girl for 3 years. Finally asked her out when I was about 14. She didn't say anything, just turned and went away. 2 days later everyone in school knew that Poopman asked her out. I was called that till I left school. A look of disgust, followed by an audible EWW, then off to laugh at me with her friends. I'm not at all someone that's confident when it comes to relationships, and I've had so many guys tell me, "You just need to have more confidence." Always frustrates me, and I always want to just respond, "Sure, let me go pick some up at the store." Anyway, one of my closest friends was always talking to me about being more confident and trying to make me feel more confident, telling me how pretty I am, how a guy would be lucky to date me, etc. He also kept telling me that I should stop whining about never being asked out and to act confident by asking someone I'm interested in to go out with me. I was interested in him, my friend. I found some confidence. I asked him out and was met with, "Oh, I don't see you that way, FNL." I went away for spring break my freshman year and was unreachable by my friends for a full 10 days. During that time, one of my friends had a birthday party. When I came back to school, everyone was acting weird around me, but especially my best friend. She was standoffish and weirdly quiet, and I was confused as hell as to why she'd be like that. Eventually someone else in the group broke and told me what happened. See, I had a big crush on my best friend all through middle school. In high school, I was starting to accept that she wasn't interested in me, and like most teenagers, I'd written some pretty overwrought diary entries about it. Unbeknownst to me, my other closest friend had a big crush on me. She was jealous. I should note here, we're all women. I'm not a dude in a two-girl love triangle in this scenario here. And she decided to torpedo any chance I had. She got a hold of my diary entries about my crush, made copies, and then read them out loud at the party while I was out of town. Not only did I get obliquely rejected by my best friend, but my whole group got weird as hell around me for a few solid weeks. Eventually, being kids, we all got over it. We're all in our 30s now, and I'm still friends with both women. Was accused of being a stalker after trying to talk to a girl. Confidence absolutely crushed. I'm not a teenager now, but when I really liked a guy I was in acting classes with. I've always been really androgynous, and back then I tried to compensate by going overly girly. One day I plucked up the courage to ask if he wanted to go out sometime. He looked me dead in the face and said, "No offense, but if I wanted to date someone who looked like my little brother, I'd date my little brother." I've been rejected a lot, but that one hurt. I took a good-looking girl to a high school dance. She ran into some guy she never thought I'd see again after he'd moved, and then they hung out, and she ignored me. I shrugged and hung out with my friends. I hope she got home okay, because I was her ride. She grew up stunning. But whatever. In 7th grade, this kid came to school all dressed up in a tuxedo with flowers and a ring. Granted, it was not a real ring, but it's a ring nonetheless. In the hall during passing period, he got on one knee and proposed to this girl to be his girlfriend. Everybody was in the hall crowding around to see what the commotion's all about. Even people are coming out of the class to see this. The girl covers her mouth in shock and all of the crowd is screaming say yes and freaking out, because I mean, well, in middle school this was a big deal. All this happened for the girl say no. Poor guy never said a word in class after that. My Minecraft GF didn't want to play survival with me. When my childhood best friend ditched me to hang out with cooler people in the first week of secondary school. I was actually the one that did the rejecting. So I'm a girl and this other girl had a not so subtle crush on me. Even though I'm openly bi, we honestly had nothing in common, so I didn't feel the same. I honestly think she only liked me because I was the only other gay person she knew at the time. After more than a few awkward encounters, I finally confronted her about it. Not only did she confess her feelings, but she poured her heart out, admitting that she's felt this way for years, leaving me in a very awkward spot. I tried my best to lightly explain why I didn't think it would work out. We went separate ways and soon went to separate universities. One day, out of nowhere, she starts messaging me for a few weeks. Normal at first, but then the flirting starts again. Note, she had a girlfriend at the time. She starts telling me about how hard she can make her girlfriend come, and this obviously was way too much information. I call her out on it, and she gets aggressive, telling me that I'll never experience the pleasure she can give me. I block her obviously, and I can only hope I never see her in person again. She was always a bit eccentric, but I think I dodged a bullet on that one. Can't get rejected if you don't have any social confidence whatsoever, prompting you to overthink everything, giving you anxiety over whether someone likes you or not, no matter how obviously they might display it, thus leading to you assuming no one will accept you, much less love you as a person, and never asking them out. Not a rejection, but close enough, I hope. I was at my English class sitting in the back row and talking to an acquaintance of mine when a girl I used to like came up to me and asked me on a date. Now immediately I knew something was off because we never talked, and behind her a few people were staring and laughing. Before I could even get a word out, she said, "Just say no, I don't actually like you." So I was rejected before I even asked, and my day was already pretty shitty beforehand. She repeated the question and again told me to say no, and at this point, pissed, I told her to fuck off. She just said okay and left. So that was probably not my worst rejection, but the one I hated the most, because I actually had my hopes up for a second. Well, it was some years ago when I was young and dumb, but I told a boy that I had a crush on him, and the rejection was totally okay. But a day later I found out that he told the whole class and everyone was making fun of it. I got calls from some boys from my class and texts saying that it's him and he would miss me, etc. Close bracket. It even got that far that some stranger from a different school texted me something like, "Are you seriously that much into?" Fun times. One time when I was in middle school, I was talking to one of my friends, who happens to be a girl, about who I had a crush on. Then the guy walked past us, and I guess he overheard our conversation, and asked my friend who I said I liked. Just after I told her don't tell him, she tells him it, the girl over there. Immediately he walk over to her and points at me and says very loudly, "That boy over there likes you." I should have mentioned this was in a cafeteria and it was quiet enough for everyone to hear it clearly. So then she, the girl I had a crush on, says loudly, "Ooh, I don't like his a asterisk asterisk." The whole cafeteria laughs. Then my friend whispers to me saying she's sorry. I said in the most depressed voice, "It's alright."